What's going on, folks? This is Big Brother 749 coming back at you with another video. 1 year ago today, a Manhattan jury let Daniel Penny walk free. And y'all remember the story of Jordan Neely, a homeless black dude who was mentally ill yelling on the subway. And Mr. Penny, a white former Marine, put him in a chokehold and killed him, which this happened about a couple of years ago. Now, let's get something straight. I ain't criticizing Mr. Penny for saving people. I'm criticizing the excessive force and the racial double standard that was applied after the event. Because when this first happened, I wasn't that mad or upset at Mr. Penny because I get that he was trying to help. And I understand that everybody was scared and nervous. And I think maybe putting him in a chokehold was necessary if he was being aggressive and acting valid towards other people. But my problem is that he didn't have to continue doing it after Mr. Neely stopped resisting. And this wasn't a lone action either, because Mr. Penny was assisted by at least two other men who helped pin down Jordan Neely's arms and body. And this was a collective act, yet the hero label and the fateful consequences were concentrated on Mr. Penny. And what happened after that was crazy, because you had figures like Charlie Kirk and other conservative leaders who not only defended Mr. Penny, but they celebrated him. Because you had Trump and J.D. Vance inviting him to be his annual guest at the Army-Navy football game in Maryland. And folks were calling him an American hero, and they raised millions of dollars. And think about that. You know, they turned the legal chokehold into a GoFundMe success story. And it's like, the moral of the story ain't even about helping your fellow man. It's more about, if you can commit a crazy, questionable act against a marginalized person, you might just get a big check and a patriotic bumper sticker. And I mean, they just turned this tragic, lethal act into a patriotic victory. And that right there is where my question starts, because that whole hero narrative and all that money and all that praise and the quick acquittal, that was all based on something that we can't ignore. And this whole hero narrative was never really about Mr. Penny, to be honest. It was really about control, because for people like Charlie Kirk, and I don't mean to keep bringing him up, I know he's dead and gone now. I'm not bad-mouthing him. I'm just referencing him simply because he was still alive when this happened. But for people like him, the Jordan Neely tragedy was a gift. It led them to send a clear message that if the government won't police the streets the way we like, we will. If you're white and you're comfortable and you're doing the policing against a person who is black and marginalized, we will defend you and call you a hero. And I understand that Jordan Neely was a troubled man and he had issues, but they had to turn his brother down because they focused on his past and his illness, because they had to make you believe that his life was worthless. This was a man who struggled with trauma. You know, his mom had been murdered when he was just 14 years old by a man she was in an abusive relationship with. And that led him to having PTSD and schizophrenia. And I believe he was in the foster care system, and that didn't help. And they was supposed to protect him, and they didn't. And remember, this man whose life they deem as worthless was a former Michael Jackson impersonator. He was a talented artist who used to perform for change on the streets. And the system didn't just fail a homeless man, it failed a person with talent and history. And though I don't condone him yelling at passengers on the subway, I do understand that it was a cry for help, because what was he asking for? He told passengers that he didn't care going back to jail. And think about that, because in a sick, tragic way, jail would have probably saved his life, because there he would have at least had a place to stay, a place to eat and sleep. And that's how badly the system failed him. And the real solution was simple. You know, somebody should have put him in a homeless shelter or a mental health facility, because we see so much concern for homeless women and children, as they should be cared for. Don't get me wrong, but we fail to, you know, look out for the men also who are suffering out on our streets. And Jordan Neely was one of them. And Daniel Penny himself has said that he don't regret what he did, just only over the tragic outcome, and that for him the action was a necessary act of control, and it wasn't a mistake. And that's cool and all, but let's run a very simple, honest experiment. If Daniel Penny was black, would he still be your American hero? Picture this. Darius Penny, a black veteran, sees a white man who's yelling, who looks unstable, and Darius put him in a fatal chokehold. Would those same voices rush to his defense? Do you think Charlie Kirk would have been demanding millions of dollars to be raised for him? I think we all know the answer. Darius Penny would be labeled a criminal right away. He wouldn't be a hero fighting for order. He would be a dangerous criminal who took the law into his own hands. And the story wouldn't be about saving the subway. It'll be about a scary, aggressive black man killing a vulnerable white citizen. They don't get the benefit of the doubt because the rules are different. And even in the interrogation, the detectives were friendly, making small talk with Mr. Penny, treating him like a cooperative citizen. They were talking about his background in the service, what happened on the train. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were talking about the Yankees or maybe what he was going to order for lunch. Now, would a black man get that same treatment? Hell no. That Negro would be lucky if they offered him a glass of lukewarm tap water before the questioning started. Because if Mr. Penny was black, that fear that drove his actions will be called a criminal act. But because Mr. Penny is white, his actions are celebrated as a necessary act of order. And Jordan Neely's own father said after the verdict that the system is rigged, and he was right. And the system didn't want to save Jordan Neely. It just wanted an excuse to remove him. And that's the hypocrisy we all are living in. And we can't let this anniversary pass without confronting the hypocrisy. If we don't fix the difference between the hero and the criminal, more people like Jordan Neely would die. But let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.